Super Mario Odyssey does a lot of new things. They went back to some older mechanics and also came up with new ones. Like the capture ability. That's new, right? Well, no, not at all. And I will show you why. Now this new capture power is in the game thanks to Cappy, a ghost-like being that Mario encounters at the start of the game. When thrown at certain enemies or objects, he seems to possess them, allowing Mario to control them to get across stages. This is one of the biggest new game mechanics that Super Mario Odyssey introduced to the standard formula. Many people praised this new mechanic, including me. It was a genius move. However, was it an original one? No. There are a ton of games that have done it before. However, which games? And did Nintendo add anything to it at all? Well, let's start by taking a look at a couple of other games that used a similar ability. One great example of this is one of Nintendo's own franchises, Kirby. In this game, you can use copy abilities, which are powers that you can gain in various ways during gameplay. They have appeared in all of the games since Kirby's Adventure, which released in 1993, and it has been a staple feature of the Kirby franchise ever since their introduction. Kirby's usual method of obtaining these abilities is by inhaling various enemies and copying their powers. However, Kirby has gained access to other sources for his copy abilities. So clearly, this power has been around for ages in this franchise. However, it's not completely the same as the capture power in Odyssey. In that game, you really possess a being, and once you're done with it, release it. And besides that, there is no other way of gaining any of those power-ups. In the Kirby games, you can still find those abilities separate in the world, and once you consume the enemies, they won't survive. It's more like a power-up in a lot of ways than borrowing a creature's power like we see in Odyssey. Still, it's extremely similar, and Nintendo certainly took inspiration from this. It's one of their own games after all. We even see a capture ability just like the one in Super Mario Odyssey in the new Kirby game that's coming for the Switch. You can take control of them, well, recruit them, so you can play with multiple players, and as you can see, it's extremely similar. However, there are some games that come closer to Cappy's abilities than this game. For example, Avenging Spirit. During a walk with his girlfriend, the player is ambushed by agents of a mysterious crime syndicate who take his girlfriend away and shoot him to death. Now, as a wandering spirit with the ability to possess most others, he is summoned by his girlfriend's father and is given a mission to save her from the mysterious crime syndicate that holds her hostage, enabling the player to rest in peace. You can possess one of 4 characters with unique abilities at the start of the game, but the library of enemies expands and changes with each level. This game was more of a beat-em-up than a platformer, but still the mechanics that it uses are exactly the same as the ones seen in Super Mario Odyssey. The ghost in the game even looks like Cappy and his sister. They both look like cartoony ghosts. However, there's one big difference between this game and the new Mario game: the effect it all has on the gameplay. In Avenging Spirit, you gain new attacks and usually get tougher when you capture something. However, you don't get any special abilities that can be used in certain situations as much as in Super Mario Odyssey. In that game, you need to use the enemies you capture to get past certain obstacles, puzzles, or platforming challenges. So the levels are built around the different enemies and abilities they give you. The two most important elements work together. This isn't really the case with Avenging Spirit, since this game is more of a fighter/beat-em-up type of game. And what you also need to keep in mind is that this game was made for the arcade and Game Boy. It came out in 1991. It's actually really impressive what this game did with the hardware. So the things we see in Super Mario Odyssey would certainly not be possible. Now I got one more game to show off that used a similar mechanic, but this game is not 2D like the previous ones. Geist, a first-person action-adventure video game for the Nintendo GameCube, released on August 15th, 2005. The game was accepted and licensed by Nintendo, and they even own the franchise due to their contract with N-Space. In this game, you are also a ghost of some kind, and you're able to take over people and items and use them in the game. When it comes to the game design, it comes even closer to Super Mario Odyssey than any of the others I featured in this video. In this game, you also have to get past obstacles and solve puzzles using the people and items you possess. And besides that, you have the classic fighting and bosses. It's similar to Odyssey in a lot of ways, however, this game has more shooter aspects and less platforming. Yet again, there are differences, but the game does have puzzles, and you need to use the ones you possess to get past obstacles. The ones you take over also have more interesting and different powers. If you look at almost all the games we have covered so far, then you can see that Super Mario Odyssey certainly wasn't the first to do a capture ability. Many games have done something similar to it, and I didn't even mention all of them, since there are a lot more. However, Nintendo still did a great job with Odyssey, and made something truly special. Maybe they were even inspired by some of the games in this video. All of them are connected with Nintendo. Kirby is their own franchise, Avenging Spirit is licensed by them and was even on the 3DS Virtual Console, and Geist is one of their own franchises as well. So, is Odyssey really original? Well, yes and no. Some things have been done before and were probably taken from other games, but the integration into the level was very creative and they did some new things with that. Overall, it was a smart move to put this in the game, and I'm certainly excited for it. Alright everyone, I'll be going to Comic-Con London this year, so if you're there, then let's meet up. The event is from the 27th to the 29th of October, and I'll be there for the entire event, so be sure to follow me on my social media to know where I am. Thanks for watching, you lovely, lovely person. This was a really hard voiceover because I got a cold and my throat feels horrible. So I took a lot of tea and some medication, some vitamin C and all kinds of stuff. And I could do the voiceover now, but now I'm gonna die. Bye!